And so on this 80th anniversary of the liberation of Dachau, and during this period, some of the other death camps, it brings to mind October 7th, less than 2 years ago, when the Palestinian Arabs attacked completely innocent people. These young people at a music festival, most of them are liberals. Most of them would not agree with Bibi Netanyahu. Most of them believed in a two-state solution, and so forth and so on. Many of them had Palestinian friends. Not that any of this mattered. They slaughtered them. And so when you see in our streets the entrails of the Third Reich, with this pro-Hamas movement, and our colleges and universities in the embrace of the Islamic Nazi mentality by the Marxists and the others, and when you think about what Iran's capable of and all the rest of it, it's just really quite shocking. And you know what else during World War II in Europe? There were what we Jews call righteous Gentiles. Christians mostly, who put their lives on the line, their families' lives on the line, to protect a Jew, a handful of Jewish kids, a Jewish family. Because if they were found doing that, they were murdered. The Christians were murdered. Righteous Gentiles. When I worked in the Reagan administration, I was at the Department of Justice for a period of time. I got a resume across my desk by a young lady. Didn't have a whole lot of experience, but really wanted to work. Very, very patriotic. Her name was Baranski, Kathy Baranski. And I interviewed her. I interviewed her because on her resume, she mentioned her father, a gentleman by the name of Tibor Baranski. Tibor Baranski was a man of great faith, a Catholic, and he worked for the priest. He saw what was happening, how the Jews are being grabbed and loaded on these trains and taken never to come back. Much like Raoul Wallenberg, he decided to make phony passports for the Jews, as many as he could. Tibor Baranski. He's honored in Israel as one of the great righteous Gentiles. None of you have heard of him. Almost nobody in America has heard of him. He saved maybe 1,000 to 2,000 Jews. And he put his life on the line with those phony passports. Tibor Baranski. And his daughter, Kathy, worked for me when I was at the Department of Justice. Did a hell of a job, too. And she keeps in touch to this day. Go ahead and Google his name. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about, who I'm talking about. Most of the Christians who helped the Jews, if they were captured by the Russians, they were murdered. They were murdered. Or they were, quote unquote, disappeared. They were taken and never seen again. You see, going from Hitler to Stalin, if you could survive that, it was remarkable. One of the men who did survive it was a man by the name of Menachem Begin. He wasn't captured by the Germans. He fought them in the forests throughout Germany. And then he was captured for a period of time by the Russians, and he fought them. Then he went to what we today call Israel, and he fought the British, because the British were an imperial country, and they were very brutal to the Jews in what is today Israel. And as you know, he became prime minister, and a tremendous prime minister. These death camps, what took place in these death camps, is unspeakable. I don't know how you treat other human beings this way, whomever they are, whatever their backgrounds are. You had summary executions right on the spot. Somebody didn't like the way you looked, didn't like the way you looked at them. There was rape, significant rape that took place at these death camps. They had absolutely no use for the children, so typically the elderly and the children were the first to go. And the brutality in which they killed children and babies in particular is almost unspeakable. Grabbing them by their feet, slamming them against a brick wall, laughing about it. You probably have seen the black and white films where there's literally piles of gold teeth, as they would take pliers and pull the gold teeth out of their mouths, out of the mouth of the Jews. You've probably seen stacks of hair where they would shave the hair off the Jews to stuff pillows, to make dolls, that sort of stuff. And they would literally skin Jews to make lampshades. There were also horrendous experiments that would take place on Jews who were alive, whether it was sticking needles in their eyes or doing horrendous things to their genitalias or God knows what. This is madness run amok. And so on this 80th anniversary of the liberation of Dachau, and during this period, some of the other death camps, it brings to mind October 7th in Israel, less than 2 years ago, when the Palestinian Arabs attacked completely innocent people. These young people at the music festival, most of them are liberals. Most of them would not agree with Bibi Netanyahu. Most of them believed in a two-state solution and so forth and so on. Many of them had Palestinian friends. Not that any of this mattered. They slaughtered them. They butchered them. They raped them on the spot. They decapitated them. They cut them open with knives. They cut off the women's breasts while they were alive. Photos that you're not going to see, movies that you're not going to see. President Trump has seen it all. They went into these kibbutz, which are not well defended, right on the border, where among the most liberal Jews live, and they'd open their homes to Palestinians out of Gaza who would come and work in these homes and work in the fields next to the Jewish citizens there. Many of them were treated like friends, but not on October 7th. There they were with Hamas, slaughtering, raping, stealing, brutalizing. Brutalizing. This is why Benjamin Netanyahu and many of the leaders of Israel, I'm not talking about the opposition parties, and I'm talking about the current leaders of Israel, have said no more deals, no more ceasefires, that's enough. We've given land to the Egyptians, we've given land to the Jordanians, we've given this, we've done that. We offered the Palestinians 94% of Jerusalem, some massive percentage of Judea and Samaria. They don't believe in a two-state solution. They believe in our final solution.
For more, sign up for Levin TV.